Welcome back to Midnight Movie Club and another Dog Soldiers video. Get in. So today we woke up to some fantastic and very interesting news that I hope isn't just a bunch of sweet talk from the man Neil Marshall himself. Over on Bloody Disgusting, they've posted a wee article from Neil Marshall and Charlotte Kirk's interview on the Boo Crew podcast. I'll link it down below if you want to go read it for yourselves. It's a quick read and I thought I'd summarise it here for you all, and we'll chat and discuss it a little bit about what it could potentially mean for both Dog Soldiers and The Descent. Over in the article it says, specifically, how likely is it that Marshall will someday return to those worlds? Well, the short answer is that Dog Soldiers 2 is very much on the table. Another Descent film, however, not so much. Here's what Marshall had to say during the podcast. Those books are definitely not closed. I could revisit the world of The Descent, but with that one, it was kind of intended to be a one-off. And then the sequel got made anyway, and we all know how badly that sequel went. I'm really happy to hear this from Marshall. I do like The Descent being its own single contained film. I thought the ending was perfect, and I thought the movie pretty much as a whole was spot on. It was pretty much perfect. I can't find any faults with it anywhere, to be honest. It's one of my favourite horror movies ever, and it was definitely one of the best horror movies in the past 20 odd years. It was one of the best of the 2000s, if not the best, and yeah, it's faultless. The sequel, however, yeah, far cry from the original, and I don't want to see any more. I want them to leave it alone. If Marshall was returning, there's maybe something that he could do here or there, but I feel like the second one just tainted it a little bit, and I don't want any more risks being taken with that property, and I don't want it to taint the first one for me anymore. I like that film how it is, and I think he's right in saying just keep it the way it is, no more sequels. He then goes on to talk about Dog Soldiers, which I really want to talk about the most. If you've been on the channel here for a while, you know that Dog Soldiers is my favourite film ever. So anytime we get to talk Dog Soldiers, I will take that opportunity. Here's what he had to say. Dog Soldiers was always intended to be a trilogy. We've spoke about that before in the channel. If you haven't seen my previous videos about that, explaining what the trilogy was meant to be like and how it was meant to go, I will link that video right now. There should be a time card somewhere for it, or it'll be in the description or the comments. I definitely recommend checking that out as I explain it all, and we just chat Dog Soldiers, so that's always fun. Anyway, he goes on to say, so the rights for that have been tied up for quite some time, but now there's the possibility of a Dog Soldiers 2, finally. Now, this isn't quite breaking news. They has been talking about a Dog Soldiers sequel for some time now, and it was just over maybe a month or two ago that news came out that Neil Marshall and Sean Pertwee and Kevin McKidd had actually had a couple meetings to discuss a sequel to Dog Soldiers. So with them two on board, I'm happy with that. You have to have them two on board. Plus one of the original producers of Dog Soldiers was on board as well. So I think it's good to keep it with the people who made the original and not change the formula too much and give it off to another company who are just going to do a whole Descent sequel and just fuck it up. It's going to be low budget. It's not going to be true to the characters or the lore that was set up in the previous film. And yeah, they have to be careful with this one because Dog Soldiers is such a cult classic now. It's got this cult-like following online, and there's a lot of people that regard it as one of the best werewolf films ever. For me personally, it is the best werewolf film ever. It's definitely up there above American Werewolf. For me, it probably goes Dog Soldiers, American Werewolf, The Howling, and then probably something like what's that one? The blind guy. The one with the blind guy. I can't remember what that one was called again, but I like that one. Anyway, yeah, so I feel like they've got to keep the same crew, the same people who are around for the original, know what it means, even hire people who are super fans of the original, wink wink, to really create something that's true to the original and doesn't tarnish it after all these years. You don't want to make people wait this long and then let them down. And what really interested me was where he says the rights to this have been tied up for some quite time now. the rights for that have been tied up for quite some time now. Originally to make Dog Soldiers, Neil Marshall had to give up the rights to his own film. So even though he wrote it, directed it, everything like that, he gave up the rights to it. So basically they could just go off and do another one without him, and that's why we were possibly getting Dog Soldiers fresh meat all those years back. Happily that never came to fruition, because to me it sounded like it was going to be a bit of a dumpster fire. So I'm quite interested to hear what is going on with the rights. Has he got them back? Has he managed to buy them with someone else? What is going on there? Or has he got the holder of the rights to finally get back into the fray and want to create a sequel? It'd be really interesting to see how that came about, and just hear about how he's managed to get a sequel back on the table. How is he, convincing people this is going to be profitable again? It's just a little bit of interesting information about, movie politics, about a movie I like, so that'd be pretty interesting to talk about. Although not too interesting for the channel. I know you guys are more into monsters, creatures, and lore, and reviews and all that kind of stuff, but that kind of side of things still interests me. I don't know, I'm weird like that. So anyway, to end it off, he says the initial rumblings are happening. Talking about Dog Soldiers 2, of course, and he says, so that's looking semi-likely. We'll see. The Descent, I can't see me revisiting that world. As I said, happy with that. I'm totally happy with The Descent just being left alone the way it is. I think that's pretty much perfect, but I feel like in the world of Dog Soldiers there's much more to explore. I've even talked about possible prequels following Megan and the UAFs. That could be done well if done right. And I feel like Cooper's got more in the tank. I feel like we could see him fighting a werewolf, or maybe something else entirely. But I'm very interested to hear what you all make of this in the comments section down below. I know we've got some big Dog Soldiers fans on the channel here, and I'm keen to have a chat with you. So please do let me know all of your thoughts and feelings on this. Do you even want a sequel, and how much do you want a sequel? Tell me if you don't, tell me if you do, and tell me what you would like to see in your ideal sequel to Dog Soldiers. I do have to mention this though, I don't want this to just be a pure honeypot video, where I'm convincing you that a sequel is coming for Dog Soldiers. Take all of this with one big pinch of salt, as Neil Marshall's new film that stars Charlotte Kirk, who is also on the podcast with him, comes out this weekend. Tomorrow, in fact, The Reckoning. If you haven't heard about that one, I've got a trailer breakdown on the channel. Go check that out as well. That comes out this weekend, so it could just be wanting to drum up hype, and it could just all be sweet talk, just trying to get his name out there again, and then people stumble across him and a little bit of Dog Soldiers news, a little bit of Descent news, and then they stumble across The Reckoning. This could just be used as marketing. And I mentioned that all those weeks back when the first little rumblings of a Dog Soldiers sequel came out, and they dropped just maybe like 2 weeks before The Reckoning trailer came out, and then this dropping like the day before The Reckoning comes out. It doesn't look great, but let's just hope that it is genuine and that a Dog Soldiers sequel is in the works. Hopefully we'll have more news on this soon. We do know that Neil Marshall has an R movie coming out soon called The Lair as well. Keen to learn more about that. I've also done a video on that. Sorry for all the cheap, shameless plugs, but really trying to grow the channel here. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. I'm loving the support, and I love making the content. I hope you guys love watching the content. So please do like, comment, and share if you are enjoying it. Get involved. Why not? Join the club. But anyway, that's all for tonight's video. As always, thank you very much for watching, and good night.